Good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are around the world. Thank you for tuning in. We are here today in the center of Mexico City at the world-famous Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. As the season comes to an end, we are now in round 9 of 12 in the 5th season of the Zoom Racing League. Today we're at a 2.6-mile circuit, 17 corners, 6 of which are to the left and 11 of which are to the right. Drivers will be reaching top speeds of up to 220 miles per hour with overtaking opportunities into turns 1 and 4. The famous stadium section portion of this track is quite a spectacle, and our drivers will hear roars and cheers from the Mexican fans as they round the final corners towards the start-finish line. Qualifying is already underway, and I'm excited for some fantastic battles on track and a great racing throughout the night. And I'm honored today to be joined in the booth by Hudson Poole. Hudson, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Well, maybe not health-wise, but I'm feeling good about seeing this race and how it's going to go.
Yeah, me too. So right off the bat, I do want to go ahead and give a shout out to our only Mexican driver on the grid. So he's on his outlap right now in qualifying. We've already got some times on the board, but Alex Duarte, he's got 70 points right now in the driver's standings. Talked to him this week leading into the race. He said for him it's super important that he has a good performance here. He's put in a lot of extra practice, more than he would on a regular week, and I'm excited to see what kind of performance he puts up. Been a little bit of a struggle of a season for him so far, but you'd love to see him do it at his home track.
Yeah, you really would. Of course, when you're at your home track, you just, you want to perform at the peak you can. You got the fans, you know what I mean? So it'll be very special to him. So here we have Eruption with a very good time for our provisional pole, 15.8. He's already coming to the pits. Damien Doe, just P2, around 3/10 behind P1. And in the championship, we have Damien Doe leading by 56 points. Quite the margin here, as a race win gives you 35. Buzz got his teammate right behind him. And Dougie Falcons, our new competitor, is already 4th, just 87 points away. Very impressive stuff for him. Do you think he can make a huge comeback?
That is a good question. Let's go ahead and pull up the standings real quick, because we do have Alex Duarte on a lap going through. He did invalidate, actually, so good time to pull up the standings. Like you said, Damien's kind of taken off, but sneaking up, we got Dougie Falcons in the back. He's got quite a gap to make up, but the rate he's been going, things would have to happen. Things would have to go wrong for Damien for that gap to be made up, but Dougie is definitely on a tear, so it's something we're going to have to keep our eye on. But that constructors battle between first, second, and third, Red Bull sitting at 250 points, Ferrari at 243 points, and Alfa Romeo close behind, carried on the back of Damien Doe at 232 points. It's just going to be a thriller.
Yeah, it will be. Alfa Romeo leading constructors, 21 points for Red Bull. I mean, you have Eruption, who's already gotten pole provisionally, and really good look for him. And we have Dougie Falcons down in 12th, but you never know. He could have made a mistake there, and we could see a really good finish from Red Bull here, but Alfa Romeo, of course, will never give up a fight. And Nathan Dane in the Alpine going P3. Good stuff from him. And yeah, what do you think the times are that we're going to see around here?
In Division 3, I believe that we saw a 15.3. Eruption throughout the week in practice has looked fantastic. He's putting up times that are on pace with the top of the world, fastest guys in the world. So fantastic times that we've seen through Eruption in practice. Will it be able to translate? We'll have to see. We know Eruption came off a 2-race ban, put in a lot of practice for Netherlands last week, and qualified towards the front, but couldn't get things going early in the race and happened to DNF on the first 2 laps. So really disappointing for him, but a lot of practice was put in this week as well. Eruption has the heart of a champion, and he continues to fight no matter what, and he will be definitely a contender for the win as Lights comes across the line in P3 as well with a 16.3. So more times are coming in. Like I said, I don't think that we're near the kind of times we're going to be seeing. To procrastinate your question and finally come around to an answer, I'm going to take a guess at pole being 15.2.
15.2?
Yes.
I think that's very doable, especially by Eruption, seeing his TT times like top 100 in the world, and I think he said like a low 14, like 14.9, 6, somewhere around there. So very good time. But of course, TT to the actual race is a huge difference. Also with the pressure, you know, you only get one shot. And so yeah, it'll be interesting. We got both Alfa Romeos now in the top 3, just behind Eruption. And yeah, so Eruption now on his outlap. We'll see what kind of times he can set here.
So Eric McNerney comes across the line in P13. Oh, actually, Eric McNerney's starting a hot lap, so let's go ahead and hop on board with him. Quick note about Eric McNerney, he's a reserve driver today for the McLaren in place of Jack Fletcher. He's our only reserve driver on the track today, so great attendance today from the Division 2 grid. Jack Fletcher with his 6th absence, so not such great attendance from him, and it's hurting his team. As we can see in the standings, McLaren down in 9th place, just 5 points above Haas. Having to rely on these reserve drivers every week is definitely starting to take a toll on the team. But also talking about reserve drivers, Johannes Ludwig, who's missed 5 races, decided to show up today. So it's great to see him back on the grid. Looks like he has just started a hot lap as well. We will follow on board with him as soon as Eric McNerney is done with his lap, as he's heading through the S's right now. And the S's are one of the most technical pieces of track on any out of the whole F1 calendar. So it's going to be interesting. It's so close to being flat out, but holding it flat out is a brave move. As Eric, keeps it valid, comes around the final corner, and he takes it for a spin. So not what you want to see from the McLaren driver. I'm sure that Zach Brown-Klein will be chatting with him about that performance. So let's go ahead and hop on board with Johannes. Not quite sure how much practice he's been able to get this week. His lap is still valid. Or no, his lap is invalid. Okay, so Johannes is coming back into the pits. Eruption is on a hot lap as well. He's improving on his time currently as he's in Sector 2, and he's coming through the hairpin section as he's getting to go into the S's. We'll keep an eye on Eruption's telemetry right through here. Will he keep it flat?
Invalidates.
Oh, he invalidates. Okay, so no keeping it flat for him. There's a Aston Martin behind him of Victor Diaz. The Mexican-American driver keeps it flat through the S's for the most part as he heads into the stadium section. Gets roars and cheers from the fans as he comes around the final few corners, and we'll keep an eye to see where Victor Diaz is at. He was up a couple tenths, 16.6 currently, rounding the final corner.
Coming across the line here, goes from 16.6 to 16.2, putting him P3. Very good for the Aston Martin team, and very good from Victor Diaz, of course. That is a very good spot for him. And past T1 driver, you know, still showing that he has really good skill and potential and what he can do in D2.
Dougie Falcons comes across the line with a 1-second improvement. So I'm not sure if that's where we'll see Dougie Falcons finish, but we expect higher than 16.2 from him. But it's nice to see he got rid of that 17-second banker, and he's got something a little bit more respectable. And now he can go back into the pits, put on a fresh set of tires, and come back out and really go for it. So.
Yeah, Shaggy Muffin putting up a P3 in the AlphaTauri. Very good stuff from him. You know, really impressive. But yeah, this will be really tight for the whole top 5. I want to say here, gonna be really tough, and it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. I think if Eruption can put a lap together and not invalidate, it'll be really tough for the other drivers to kind of catch up. But you never know. Johannes Ludwig, we've seen what he can do before. He can definitely challenge. And Barney Goatmere, there's a lot of drivers here that we know who have a lot of potential.
Buzz got up in a P4, cuts 3 tenths off of his time. Did we have an Alfa Romeo come in line as well? I believe we did. Was that... Or no, I'm sorry, that was a Ferrari. So combined YouTuber across the line at 16.6. And then behind him, I believe the next car to cross the line, maybe is that going to be Garrett Elder in the Williams? No, it's going to be an AlphaTauri coming across. Is this Alex Duarte on his next lap? No, Shaggy Muffin's coming in. Damien Doe is coming back into the pits as well. So next car we've got on track. Johannes is going to be coming to the pits. Gary Elder will be the next one to start a lap. He joined his session late, so a little bit of technical difficulties with the team as he was trying to get into lobby, and he wasn't able to make it in. We held the lobby 5 minutes for him, and he still wasn't able to get in on time. So he's missed the opportunity to go out for his first couple runs. This is going to be pretty much a one and done for Garrett Elder.
Yeah, so very interesting also from Eruption. He's already come out for another lap. I'd say this is quite early for him. Maybe he's thinking that he can go in the pits for another lap, but it's going to be close. It'll be, you know, if he gets another lap, you know, it'll be close. It could be a changer.
All right, so apologies, guys. I think that our standings graphic was a little bit incorrect. Might have been the one from last week, so apologies for that one. Regardless, for the most part, somewhat accurate. We did have a couple wrong numbers in there, but we apologize for the technical difficulties. As Garrett goes purple through Sector 1, it's showing. We know that the game does sometimes show some bugs as far as sector times go. And who is that he's got behind him? Is that his teammate of Barney Goatmere? And Barney Goatmere's on an outlap, so they're going to set up a tow for Barney if they do this correctly. Garrett's going to come across the line, and he finishes his Sector 2. He's obviously not... We're not going to know if he's improved or not because he doesn't have a banker time. So Garrett is a fast driver, currently sitting in 5th place in the standings. So a little bit out of place for Williams. Definitely the best performing car from the team across every division. And as Garrett comes around the last corner, gets a lot of grip, comes to the line, and it's not going to be enough. So he's going to be in P16 for the moment, and I think that's probably going to be the only lap he's going to get. Unfortunate for him, but Barney Goatmere behind him gets a little bit of a slipstream advantage. We'll have to see if he gets more of it as he goes into the second DRS zone. Not a whole lot of it down the front straightaway.
Yeah, no, he didn't slow down too much. I don't think there's too much slipstream communication as he goes wide here, but he doesn't validate. He
keeps it valid.
Gets lucky with that. So an Eruption setting a 15.3, very good lap from him. That'll be a huge contender for pole. And do you think he'll be able to get another lap in here? Maybe he's trying to set up a slipstream for Dougie Falcons. Oh no, he's still in the pits. So
no chance that he can get in another lap.
Yeah.
And Barney's into the wall, and Barney breaks his wing. So that'll be it for the Williams team. They'll be starting from the back. Garrett in 17, Barney in P13 with positions still to be lost. And we've got Alfa Romeo coming to the line. Is this the Alfa Romeo of Lights? Lights comes to the line. He's starting his lap. We'll stay on board with him. Lights has been known to show some pace. And interesting to see where he will come out. 16.3 currently. Haven't seen too many people break into the 15s yet. I think we still got some times to come in.
Yeah, we do. So both Mercedes are now starting their laps soon. We got Sid just crossing the line to start his lap, and Johannes not too far behind him starting his lap. So it'll be interesting to see where the Mercedes can fit in. Both very good drivers, very good potential. And so now Damien Doe has to just set his sights on trying to beat that lap. He's going out really late too to get, you know, the optimal tire temps or the track temp, so he can go as quick as possible. Gonna try to beat that 15.3, which will be a challenge. And yeah, he's out for his out lap now.
Yep, so Damien Doe's taking off for his final lap. Something to note, Eruption did put up a very good time, a very respectable time. Oh, and Johannes invalidates, so unfortunate for the Mercedes driver. He'll be starting from the back. Sid Satgar is not too far behind. Or, no, he's a little bit ahead, actually. So Sid's going through the S's right now. We'll see if he's able to improve on his time. Oh, as he invalidates going through the S's, and it is so hard to keep it valid through there. The FIA have been strict, but they've been consistent that you have to keep all 4 tires, or at least 2 tires, on the track at all times to the S's, and if you don't, they will invalidate your lap. Sid taking a little bit of a shortcut there to get back to the pits. I don't think it's going to be able to do anything for him. He won't be able to get another lap in. And so Eruption, hold on a second. Look at this. I think you had the right idea.
Trying to save that battery.
No, he's not. He's not going for another one. But what he's going to do, Dougie Falcons. And here he is, right in front of Dougie Falcons, and he's going to give him a tow. So Red Bull have done the masterclass strategy. Let's stay on board with Dougie Falcons as he's getting the tow from his teammate.
Yeah, so this tow, as we've seen with D3, it'll help around a 10th, which can be a huge changer here in quali. So going into turn 1, trying to brake as perfect as possible, nails his apex. Turn 2, some people choose to ride the curve, some people don't. It's risky, but can gain you time. I would say he's pretty clean through the first chicane. And yeah, this could be a very good time for Dougie Falcons. He is 400ths up on his time, of his previous lap. So we'll put up him at least P6 if he keeps us up so far, going through that hairpin. Now going through the most challenging part of this whole track, the S's. Definitely not easy. It could be a make or break. Oh, as we have a Williams there.
And he's
I think that
invalid.
was.
He's invalid. And it may have been a distraction from the Williams that was parked on the side of the road, and that's unfortunate for Dougie Falcons to start P7. Not something we're used to seeing. He's a little bit out of place, but we will keep an eye on him in the race because Dougie Falcons, as we saw last week, made a tear through the field, and watching this guy pass other drivers is phenomenal.
Yeah, and we have Damien Doe now, P2, going soon to cross the line. Let's see what he can challenge Eruption with for this time. Coming across the line now, and he's going to set a 15.9.
Holds on to P2.
He did not improve on his time.
Notable performance, by the way, that we missed. John Ranger is in the Aston Martin. You know, he came back mid-season. He returned from. He's driven with us in previous seasons. Apologies, but he kind of joined midway through this season. Was a little bit out of the loop with the game and the cycle or the state it was in. Wasn't super comfortable, you know, talking to him. He felt like he wasn't really sure if he even belonged on the Division 2 grid. But we've all seen the potential that John Ranger had in previous seasons of ZRL on the other game. But seeing him start in P3, it's great to see him back into form. And I think that this is going to be our final grid.
Yeah, it will be. So, very interesting finish. Eruption P1 with that 15.3. There was no doubt about it. Very good lap from him. Damien Doe, who was leading the Drivers' Championship, now is going to try to hunt down Eruption. Who do you think will come out on top through lap 1? Because, as we know, the run down to turn 1, you know, the slipstream is going to be huge, and whoever's first place kind of has a disadvantage unless they get a really good start.
Yeah, you'd have to say that whoever's sitting in P3 or P4 has a little bit of an advantage as we get on turn 1, which is a little interesting. But we will find out when we come back from this break. Go ahead and get your chips and popcorn, get your Coke, your peanuts, as Rebus and PBJ would say, and we will see you guys on the flip side. See you soon. Stay tuned. All right, guys, and we are back, and the drivers are on their formation lap. Real quick, let's go ahead and pull up these corrected standings for you guys. I was able to pull those up. Sorry for the technical difficulties earlier, but yeah, you see that the Constructors' battle is still tight towards the front. Damien still has an advantage. Can't make mistakes, though. You know, a couple of races left. We'll see if he can hold on to it. So let's go ahead and get our tire details up. We'll see. We'll check. We'll keep an eye out for position changes. And Hudson, who is your favorite as we head into the start of this race?
I'm gonna say, I feel like Damien. Well, okay, this is actually interesting because Eruption is starting on the mediums, so he will have a very good chance at jumping Damien Doe off the start here because, of course, the mediums are going to gain more traction off the start compared to the hards. But will Damien Doe gain a huge advantage towards the end of the race? But of course, you know, a safety car could change everything. So I feel like BuzzGod can make a lot of positions up here. He'll have that slipstream and the new tires. So honestly, I have no idea. But I would, just to stay safe, if I had to choose, I'd probably say Eruption.
Yep, so our drivers are going to be sitting on the grid for quite some time, as the back of the grid is definitely holding them up. We got Mr. Sandunga and Anand Trivedi pulling up the back of the field. Who do we hop on board with for the start of this? I think we got to go to the second row, right?
I say BuzzGod.
BuzzGod. We will hop on board with BuzzGod. If he can get the launch he wants, he's got the medium tires. He could, and see, John Ranger's already got the disqualification, not coming to the pit or to the line correctly. So
yeah, that's unfortunate for him. It would cost him a little bit, but yeah. Let's see if any of the back markers make some positions too. Beamer and G starting last with the mediums, but here we go.
Here we go. 3, 4, 5. And it's lights out, and away they go, and BuzzGod seems to get a little bit of a slow start, but as he gets that second wind, it looks like he's going to be able to... And where the heck did Dougie Falcons come from? 7th place, all the way into second as he's getting a tow from his teammate Eruption into turn 1, 5 spots up. Looks to make the position swap with Eruption going into turn 1. Like a rocket ship, no drive-through, and he's going to keep it moving.
Was the single-handed best start I've ever seen. He must have slipped off the clutch or something by accident. It happened in the best way possible. That was insane. What a rocket ship. That was a perfect explanation.
He must know the code to when it's going to start or something. I don't know how he managed to do that. Also up positions, Nathan Doan's up 3 positions already. Anand Trivedi in 14th place, started last, brought up the rear of the field. Now he's up at 13th. He's still moving. But our biggest mover, Dougie Falcons, can he hang on to the DRS of his teammate Eruption, though? Eruption has been, like we said, fastest all week. Already made a 1.5 second gap to his teammate. This field could already start to spread out.
Yeah, Damien Doe is going to be eager to get back that position. But they're both on hards, of course. Eruption will start to fade away from Dougie with the medium tires as he sets the fastest lap, 21.1. But yeah, we see Damien Doe using his battery to try to keep up with Dougie Falcons. It could be a Red Bull 1-2, but if Damien Doe has anything to say about it, he's going to put up a really good fight.
I just cannot get over what kind of start he just had on the hard tire. Yeah, that is incredible. So, Dougie Falcons, if you've got some tricks up your sleeve, I'd like you to share them with the rest of Red Bull, because we aren't doing that. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, man.
And
really
Damien Doe,
yeah,
Damien Doe's already kind of looking to get a little bit spicy with it. Anand Trivedi now up to, he's still in P12 actually. I think that he, no, he made another position. Yeah, so he's up to P12 from 20th, past his Haas teammate, and on an absolute tear. I was sitting in a call with Anand Trivedi earlier, and he said that he wasn't sure if he was on pace, but sure seems like he is. So Anand Trivedi's going to keep trying to cut through this field, and we'll keep an eye on him as he continues to move.
Yeah, Barney Gomir having a really unfortunate start. I'm not 100% sure what happened, but he dropped seven positions and had to go into the pits. Not the kind of start you want to have, but you never know. There could be a safety car. Anything could put you back in the race. And we see here, yeah, like you're talking about VMRAN G, Anand Trivedi getting 8 positions out the start. Very good stuff from him. As well, Nathan Doan and Alpine getting 3 positions. As DRS is now enabled, but we will not get it after turn 1.
What kind of fuel are they putting in Eruption's car?
Yeah, 3.3 seconds already. That is, maybe he's, you know, like beating the hell out of those mediums, but I think even with any overcut or undercut Damien Doe does with the new fresh mediums he'll have at his second stint, I don't know if it'll be enough to beat Eruption here.
So the pace he is on is absolutely blistering. Made 4 seconds already. He is on the medium tire. Not necessarily the preferred strategy, but it could be the preferred strategy if there's a safety car. But what kind of gap do you think he needs to make to Dougie Falcons to hold on to this win?
Well, I would say before the pits, he probably wants like
and Nathan Doan's around.
Second. Oh, unfortunate for the Alpine. Not what you would want to see. He's down in 9
position. Mercedes is around, right? Johannes Ludwig goes around, right around him. Through the S is the tricky technical part of this difficult circuit. Not what you want to see.
Oh, Sanduga.
Sanduga comes through, and it's the same thing, and it may have been because Johannes was on the racing line. Not quite sure what happened, as Dougie Falcons' Eruption has now pulled a 5-second gap, and it's not slowing down. This could be because Damien, we'll keep an eye on it, but is Damien, yeah, see, if Damien keeps continuing to make these looks.
Oh.
And he goes.
That was his contact. Contact between the 2 drivers.
Yep, and they are racing elbow to elbow. John Ranger says he wants some involvement, tries to get in there, gets a better exit than Damien, but I don't think he gets a better exit than Eruption, but he's going to try it anyway. John Ranger going around the outside of Dougie Falcons, and he's going to make it stick. Dougie Falcons says it's not his battle for the moment, but he makes a little bit of contact with him. I'm wondering, Damien's going to try to stick it in here as Buzzgod's trying to go around the outside.
Well, some of the best racing we've seen this whole weekend. You know, Ranger improvising off the mistake between Dougie and Damien, racing too hard, and he improvised.
Buzzgod gets a good exit through the S's. He gets the DRS. Dougie Falcons has it too. Okay, he's not gonna go for it yet, but he's gonna get a double dosage of DRS, and we're gonna have to hold on to our seat belts right now, because when they go down the straightaway, John Ranger's going to be in front, but they're going to have 2 doses of DRS behind him. I don't think he's going to be able to hold on. Oh, John Ranger gets a little bit of a wiggle. This is definitely going to make it interesting, so we'll hop on board let's follow Damien, because John Ranger may lose up to 3 positions. I think the position to Dougie Falcons is definitely going to be gone. Yeah, you'll see Dougie Falcons makes the move to the right now. Buzzgod is going to slip in, fall in line with Dougie. And is he going to try to sneak through there? Not quite yet, but he's going to get another dose of DRS. And John Ranger's still not going to have it, but to John Ranger's advantage. Is this Damien around the outside? Damien's coming around the outside, so he forces Buzzgod offline. A little bit of Ferrari on Ferrari battle as we got Ferraris in 4, 5, 6, and 7. The teammates, the manufacturer teammates, are challenging each other. Not quite working together, but they've gone side by side through 4 corners now.
Side by side, best racing you can have. Going in, is he going to back out? No, he sends it, and he pushes him a little off track, but if he does get a warning for that, I'm sure it'd get removed. But yeah, so the Ferrari of Buzzgod does take the win between Damien, and now he's going to be pushing as hard as he can to get the DRS to Ranger, or else he'll be a sitting duck for the next 2 straights. Will he get it? Yeah, I think he will. Down to 8.5 tenths, but Damien though and Lights, you know, the Alfa Romeo 5 and 6, they're going to want to push a little harder and, you know, make up some more positions to keep that constructor title.
I didn't see when John Ranger lost a position to Dougie Falcons, but he definitely did. So Dougie not going to have DRS in the next 2 DRS zones, but doesn't look like it's going to matter. I think that he's finally going to be able to break away from this crazy racing that's happening and push along for a Red Bull 1-2 as Eruption with the suspicious fuel in his engine. I don't know what's going on with the Red Bulls today, but the 2 of them are just absolutely rocket ships.
Damien Doe and Buzzgod still fighting it out, and Damien Doe comes out on top between Buzzgod. Ranger now has lost pretty much the DRS to Dougie Falcon, so Dougie can start trying to save his DRS and hopefully for him, you know, get the advantage with the new tires, as Buzzgod is going to try to keep reeling in Damien Doe, and maybe we'll see some more fighting between the top 5.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and check our position changes now. I believe we've got a bunch of, so Seb's up 8 spots. Eric McNerney's up 7 spots. Garrett Elder's up 7 spots. So lots of movers, lots of stuff happening in the back. I think in Alpine maybe just went around. Yeah, so for Alpine, things kind of just keep getting worse, you know. Not a race to remember for these guys, but they're gonna keep pushing. Victor Diaz also looks like he got into a little bit of trouble. Fell down to P20. Barney Gomier picks up a 3-second time penalty, but up towards the front, we got a serious train and close driving. Lights is a little bit lagging for us on stream. We'll try to hop on board from a different angle when we can. But yeah, we've got a little bit of a DRS train from John Ranger seems to have pulled back into the DRS of Dougie Falcons. So from 2 to down to 9. So 2 to 9. We've got a crazy little DRS train, and it's about that point of the race where I think that it's okay to, you know, sort of fall in line, be patient. You know, 29 laps ago. Check my math on that. I'm not sure. Yeah, 29 laps ago. And no reason to be making any serious moves. Just put yourself in a position to be competitive at the end.
Yeah, as the top 5, all within around 8 tenths of each other, or except for, of course, Dougie and Eruption, because Eruption with that illegal fuel. Ranger, now, I don't think he's got the DRS here. 1.1 seconds, and yeah, no DRS for Eruption here, using almost all of his battery. Damien Doe right behind him now has a DRS. Maybe a move from him. I don't think he'll get it through turn 1 here, but maybe the straight afterwards, because he'll have the DRS again.
We'll keep an eye on it. Or maybe he will. Oh, he's going to make the look, and that could have just been to try to force John Ranger offline, because he definitely did. If he can get a good exit right here, this will be the time to do it. Let's take a quick look at John Ranger's battery. He's down to 10%. Damien Doe's at 20% as he's burning as well. John Ranger says, I'm going to give you the inside line. Make me go around me on the inside line if you want it. And now it's going to be the outside line as they go through this next section of double right-handers. And can he stick it and make it happen? John Ranger hangs in tight, and this is some fantastic racing between the two. Damien Doe doesn't get as good of an exit. Wow, so great racing between these two guys, and they are just going to fight to the death.
Yeah, it's very interesting because they have to be considerate now. Ranger is now 1.8 seconds away from Dougie Falcon. So at this point, maybe they should try thinking, maybe work together to try to get back to Dougie Falcons. But, side-by-side racing like that, of course, we'd love to see it, but it'll not help them with their chances of trying to get any higher positions. Mr. Sanduga there gets a 3-second time penalty.
Well, as if the Red Bulls needed the help, Dougie Falcons is going to get a dose of DRS right here to pull him even more away from John Ranger.
Wow.
And it looks like the Alpine is going to stay out in front for the time being. Mr. Sandunga. Oh wait, it's not Mr.
Damien
Sandunga.
Doe now you doing a move on Ranger here through turn 1, and he clears him completely. And
Okay.
it's going to be very hard for Ranger to come back because, of course, he won't get the DRS again because of the detection point being all the way back there. Do you think Buzzcut can make a move here?
He could. He definitely could. But Ranger looks like he got a little bit of a better exit. Probably going to use a little bit of battery as well. But like we were talking a couple laps ago, there's still time to be patient. Seems like forever ago. This has been so action-packed. It was only 2 laps ago. There's so much action happening.
Oh, yeah.
And Eric McNerney is kind of at the tail of this pack. He's got a great view on everyone in front of him. Seb holding in there as well. A little bit out of place in a Haas car, so I'm sure the Haas are very happy seeing him where he's at right now. Gets a little bit of a run. Gets a little bit of run. Eric McNerney has a run on Seb. Is going to look around the outside, force him offline, focus on getting a better exit right here, but Seb manages to hold on to the position as they go through the stadium section, and they're all going to get DRS again. Who's going to be the person to not get benefit at the front of the train? That's going to be Damien Doe, but he's got quite a steady gap of 7/10. Obviously, John Granger's going to bring that down, but I don't think that he's going to be able to get by him on this lap.
No, I don't think so either. Unless, Damien Doe gets a bad exit. But yeah, he might get DRS in this Alpine. Oh, maybe not. For the next lap. No. So, I mean, we have really good fighting here from the top, from third position all the way down to 9th position. All within.
And really, if you look at it, these guys keep battling up front. Garrett Elder's pulling into it as well. And right behind Garrett, he's bringing someone with him. Our Mexican native, Alex Duarte, right in the mix as well. And it's just this whole pack's gonna come together and be super interesting. Garrett's already got it down to 1.4 seconds. It was 2 seconds just a couple of corners ago. So give it another lap or two of battling, and this train's just gonna be extended.
Yeah, DRS trains, just like esports, we got him here too. Damien Doe is slowly cutting that gap between him and Dougie. It was like 1.8, 1.9 last lap, and he's got it down to 1.6. Very impressive stuff from him. And he's trying to break the DRS from Ranger, but Ranger's still sticking in there. Only around 7/10 behind now, and he is trying to save that ERS. Actually has more ERS than Ranger, so fortunate there. Sid got a 3-second time penalty, as both the Mercedes are 13 and 14. So yeah, P8 Seb, maybe you can make a move on Combined YouTuber, but it's all really close battling here.
Absolutely. So no one really close enough to make an overtake at the moment. This Alpine has kind of just been in the way. Might be providing some DRS to drivers as well. Once they finally clear him, that will open the gap for some more clean racing. And we have an AlphaTauri around, and that is the AlphaTauri of Shaggy Muffin. So
yeah, P18 Barney trying to make a move on a non-Trevetta here. Sorry to cut you off there, but overtaking is happening. Possibly using the ZRS. He might be able to get him here in the second straight.
So we'll stay on board with this battle for P18, keeping an eye on the deltas as well. So Barney gets a little bit of bad exit. Let's hop on board with Eric McNerney as he's getting close. The whole train is still together, and Garrett Elder 1.2 seconds back. Not going to get DRS this time around, but I would imagine next time around he will be in play. In fact, he gets a great exit out of that corner. Still won't have the DRS because he wasn't there at the checkpoint, but that's his fastest lap.
Yeah. Top 5 still, or not top 5, but Dougie, the gap between Eruption and Dougie now 14.7 seconds. I think whatever whatever happens, unless there's a safety car eruption, is just gonna fly away with it. The huge gap that he's made is very impressive.
Well,
Ranger at 4/10 behind Damien Doe.
yeah, we say that, but after there will be a window, right? So after Eruption pits, if a safety car were to come out, it would essentially bring all of those guys who are going to be on the medium tire back right on his tail. So it's not completely over until we've sort of missed that window and the hard runners all come in to swap to the mediums. At that point, I would say that we could pretty comfortably call it over. But the 15-second gap is just absolutely insane. If there was any doubts about Eruption after his 2-race ban and DNF at the Netherlands, and you guys forgot that Eruption was a force to be reckoned with, he's here to remind you. So, fantastic drive so far as we stay locked in with this DRS train. I believe we may have a Ferrari. No movement yet.
Damien Doe now in the DRS at Dougie Falcons has caught his way back up.
So drivers getting added on everywhere. So Garrett Elder is also in the DRS now. Wasn't able to bring Alex Duarte with him, so Alex Duarte did fall off. But Garrett Elder is going to stay in there, and if these guys continue to battle, you'd have to imagine Alex Duarte is not too far behind. 2.1 seconds at the moment. Love to see him get in there at his home race. Combined YouTubers struggling to stay within the 1 second gap at the moment. Lights is kind of putting in a little bit of a pull. See if he gets this DRS checkpoint. We're really kind of waiting to see this train break up, and that's only going to happen if someone can break the gap, you know? And
yeah.
I don't know who's going to be the one to do it. It's close. It's been close in a couple spots, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, BuzzGod almost 9/10 away at one point to Ranger.
Yep,
I think he will keep that.
It might actually be right here. Combined YouTuber 1.1 seconds behind Lights at the checkpoint, and he's not going to get it. So that could be one of the defining moments for how this race starts to play out. Unless he can bring it back in, it's going to be tough though.
Oh yeah. Damien Doe still has a decent amount of ERS to play with. ERS. The DRS of him is helping him massively to catch up back to Dougie. What do you think will come out on second here? Because Damien Doe is still keeping up well with Dougie Falcons here.
Well, you know, the double dose of DRS makes it for a really passive, could be a boring strategy in a way. We saw this in the previous race with Raz and Wild Fury. You can really kind of just hold on to the second place, or I guess in this sense the third place, and just hold on to the rear of them. And when they get down to the final 2 laps, you can just make your move, blow all the battery. I think Damien Doe is perfectly comfortable where he's at, and no need to make a move. He could if he wanted to, but even if he did, I don't think he's going to be creating any sort of gap.
Yeah. Damien Doe, the closest he's been to Dougie in a while now, only 4/10, has 40% ERS.
If he's going to do it, you'd want to do it right away. So he's half a second back. Let's see if he decides to do it right here. He turns the battery on. Maybe he's thinking about it. Turns it back off. Maybe thinks twice. All right. Hudson, we still got you in the booth? I think we might have had Hudson get disconnected as Damien gets pretty close to the rear end of Dougie Falcons. He's going to get the DRS. Still not close enough to make the move stick, though. And our train has really started to break up. Combined YouTuber actually decided that he's going to come to the pits. We are to the point where that pit window is definitely open for the medium runners. So let's look for Eruption maybe. BuzzGod. Eruption really could stay out if he wanted to. But BuzzGod and Seb, we'll keep an eye on them. This could be the lap that they decide that it's time to come in. Especially since that gap in that train, that once train that was from 2nd to 11th, is starting to get a little bit bigger. So Eruption was the first to make the decision. He decides that he's not going to come to the pits. BuzzGod's going to come around the final corner. Is it time? And it is time. So Buzzgod's going to come to the pits. Let's see if Seb's going to follow him. Seb says, no, I'm going to stay out. And we'll see what happens on the next lap. So let's see what kind of traffic this puts Buzzgod out in. I don't think it necessarily will. For his sake, he's going to be hoping that he comes out with no one in front of him. And he can run with it. This undercut's going to be huge when the pack is that close in front of him. Every second that he can get, he is looking to get in front of another car. But he won't have the advantage of DRS. So my partner in the booth is experiencing some technical difficulties from Microsoft, dealing with some Windows updates, but he will be back with us in the booth shortly. For the time being, you guys are going to have to deal with me and me alone. But we will keep an eye on this pack in front. Damien Doe still hanging on to the back of Ducky Falcons. Seb and Eric McNerney having a close battle, but I don't know why Eric's necessarily wanted to push matters, because this should be the lap that Seb says, I'm coming in. Eric McNerney getting a little loose as he goes to the stadium section, and so I'm not quite sure what the thought process is as Seb's going to come into the pits. It's definitely at that window, and maybe just a little lapse of judgment from Eric McNerney trying to force an issue there. On the battery, not quite sure why. The Alpine in front of him is not for position. Eruption does decide to go into the pits, and he comes out with a couple drivers in front of him. Hopefully he's not held up too much by them, but we'll go ahead and keep an eye on him. As well as Damien Doe, who's, again, so close to Dougie Falcons. Not able to make a move, though. 37% battery to Dougie Falcons' 13% battery. We saw him blinking on the straightaway, so he was under 10 at one point. Under that 10% battery threshold. And we've got that another Alpine around. Alpine sitting at 19th to 20th. Not a great day for them. Johannes Ludwig goes on the fastest lap, showing what he's capable of. All he needs is a safety car to get himself back into it. Shaggy Muffin making the pass on Garrett Elder. It looks like Garrett Elder maybe had a spin because he's ghosted. Unfortunate for him. And the battle in front keeps getting tighter. These guys are within 3-4 tenths of each other through every corner. Keep an eye if anyone decides to make the early undercut. And John Ranger says it's time. So it is a little bit early, but if you want that undercut, then he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And that is going, in a field this tight, that is going to be absolutely tragic for his race.
Okay, I am back. I had a update, or Windows decided to update right now. Amazing timing. So I have no idea what is happening right now.
A little bit of fighting going on between Lights and Dougie Falcon, or sorry, Damien Doe and Dougie Falcons. Damien Doe tried to get it up the inside, but Dougie Falcons said not today. He held on to the position, but he's struggling on battery. And these drivers have to make some decisions now, because they probably, unless they've been told that John Ranger has a time penalty, all that they know is that John Ranger came to the pits and he was 3/10 behind. And he's out on the medium tire now. So this undercut could have been initiated by John Ranger. We'll have to see if they're made aware or not. And the drivers decide to make a swap for positions. Damien Doe intentionally lifts off to let his teammate by. Which is interesting. Maybe that means Damien's deciding to come to the pits right now. He didn't want to hold Lights up any longer. And, yep, so they're all going to come to the pits. Lights is going to stay out. He may be the one who benefits the most from all this, because the pit from John Ranger, we'll keep an eye on him as well as he comes down these final few corners, is going to be what initiates everyone else to come in, even though he had the 5-second penalty.
Yeah, so Eruption is now, that I see, 8/10 behind Lights in the Alfa Romeo, but he is pitted and Lights has not.
Do you see how powerful that undercut was? He flies by Dougie Falcons. John Ranger does. And Buzzgod does as well. He's also part of the undercut. He's on the hard tire, though. I don't know how much that will matter. But Dougie Falcons is now going to have to get past Buzzgod at minimum. And Lights is staying out. So Lights is going to have a huge tire advantage at the end on some of these guys who pitted early. I would have said the pit window for the or if you're starting on the medium and coming in, or if you're starting on the hard coming in for the medium, you'd want to come in around lap 21. So John Ranger kind of initiated that at lap 18, said let's go for a crazy undercut, scared the other guys into coming in on lap 19, and now if Light stays out until lap 21, he's definitely going to have a super tire advantage compared to these guys. We'll have to see if he decides to go that route.
Yeah, so Ranger on the 1 lap old mediums getting that huge undercut as you see he did on Dougie Falcons. 1 lap fresher tires, does that make a huge difference around this track?
1 lap, maybe not. And we do see Lights is going to come into the pits, so it is only going to be 1 lap. Not quite sure if that was the right call. We will see by the end of the race, of course. But I think if he maybe would have stayed out until lap 21, stayed out a couple more laps, you have tires that are 3 or 4 laps newer, they definitely would make a difference. But instead, he's going to come out right in the middle of this fight, right behind his teammate where he was before. We'll see if Combined YouTuber doesn't try to get around him while he's on those cold tires.
Yeah, so Dougie Falcons now down at P7. Yeah, he's going to have to make up some positions now. His Buzzgod is pitted, Ranger. Yeah, so, I mean, besides 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of Eric, Alex, and Shaggy, they're doing a little bit of an overcut for the medium tires. They'll be able to pass them, but Dougie Falcons now has to make his way up through Buzzgod and through Ranger, and Buzzgod is now losing the DRS to Ranger, as Buzzgod is now on the hard tire compound and not the medium tire, so it'll be even tougher for Dougie if they're not even in the train.
We'll see if Buzzgod even decides to fight this, or if he decides that he's okay with letting him by and moving on with his own race. They do have an Alpine in front of him. That's going to benefit Buzzgod on this lap and may slow down the overtaking of Dougie Falcons, as Buzzgod does go through the checkpoint and manages to get it. Dougie Falcons is on the battery. Interesting. Buzzgod does have DRS. He hops right in line behind Dougie to see if he can get him back. He's got a little bit of battery advantage too. Maybe down the next straightaway he can make it happen if they stay close.
Maybe. But oh yeah, that's right. They both get DRS. But
it's
yeah,
essentially the battle for P2 with John Ranger having a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. We all saw it. Tragic for his race. He should be the net P2 at this very moment in time on the medium tires, and just micro miscalculation causes him to.
Ooh.
Oh, and Lights picks up a 3-second penalty as well.
Yeah, 3-second time penalties are crucial around this track. Very easy to get an easy, track limit, and 3 of them add up. You get a 3-second time penalty. So now Dougie Falcons 1.3-second gap to Ranger with 1 lap fresher mediums, and Buzzgod just trying to hang in there with the DRS on those hard tire compounds. Hard tire compound with 3 laps older. It's not gonna be very easy for him. Will he get the DRS? No, he will not. Just missed out. Very unfortunate for him, as Damien Doe is right behind Buzzgod still. So still a lot of fighting left in this race as Johannes overtakes Garrett. And do you think Dougie will be able to get this to P2? Oh yeah, that's right. He has a 5-second.
Yeah. So yeah, John Ranger has the 5-second penalty. It's gonna be fairly easy for Dougie to hold on P2. This is interesting because I think a lot of people would have told you that hard to medium is the faster strategy, but we also know Zoom Racing League, depending on what division you're in, has a somewhat of a history of having safety cars early in the race. So a lot of these drivers who started on that medium tire thinking that it was going to go their way, now we're starting to see the long-term strategy come to play of those hard tire runners. And Buzzgod, for example, is now just starting to get eaten up by all these guys who have the fresher tires, and it's just going to get worse as the race goes on. He's got 14 laps to go. But, we've got Lights behind him, who's probably going to get past him and break that 3-second gap. Combined YouTuber is on the same strategy, but Eric McNerney, even with the tire advantage, could be in play as well.
Yeah, so this race is definitely not over.
And Buzzgod smashes the wall. That's going to leave some debris on the track.
Could be a safety car.
It could be a safety car because we have 2 cars spun at the same time. There's one in Sector 2 as well. It's an Alpine. Some debris on the track. What will the FIA determine?
I don't think it'll be a safety car here.
They turn it back green. So Domenicali decides that he's going to go ahead and leave it green. Not sure if Michael Massey would have made the same decision. But unfortunate, really unfortunate end to Buzzgod's race. We'll see if he can salvage anything from it.
Those are the softs.
It goes onto the soft tire, and you know why? It's because what are his other options?
Ah, it's true. Yeah, because he doesn't have another set of mediums. No, another set of hards.
It gets bad, and then it gets worse because he's gonna have to make another pit. We know 13 laps on those softs is, well, you know, he might be able to make it. He'll be in puncture territory. Nathan Doan retires from the session, and that's in the pits, I believe.
In the pits, yeah.
So he decided he's had enough. 1 point for Alpine, not worth his frustrations. And I've been there. We've all been there. So unfortunate ending to his race.
Dougie Falcons now only 6/10 away from Ranger. He might just want to overtake him on track just for that on-track feeling of securely getting the P2. And Ranger got his 5 second from speeding the pit lane, correct?
Correct. And we have a Mercedes around as well. Is that Johannes Ludwig? Mercedes around in sector 2. And again, we're going to keep it green. It's been a lot of yellow flags that haven't triggered a safety car. You know, I know a lot of times we feel like there's a lot, like too many safety cars almost. This is interesting. Down into turn 1. The AlphaTauri of Nathan, or not the AlphaTauri, the Alpine of Nathan Doan, his car is still on track.
Luckily he's ghosted though.
It is ghosted. It just pulls to an absolute stop for the moment.
Dougie Falcon's close than ever to Ranger now. Lost a little bit of time on the exit, but has 38% ERS. His Ranger has 21, so has a battery advantage over him. And yeah, I mean Sid also in P10. He has a penalty, but he's reeling in Sid, and Lights gets another. Sid is reeling in Seb, and Lights is getting another 3-second time penalty. Yeah, it's gonna be really hurting him. Eric McNerney also gets a 3-second time penalty. So yeah.
Yeah, and these track limits in Mexico are so easy to pick up, especially through the S's. You know, it's we talked about how you can go flat through the S's if you nail the line just perfectly. Well, when you try to nail the line just perfectly, which by the way, we have someone around. That's not the Red Bull of Eruption, is it? No, it's not. That's probably the Williams of Garrett Elder, or the other Williams maybe. Barney. So Barney is back to moving. But we talk about going through these S's, and you know, it's possible to keep it absolutely flat, but you've got to nail the line perfectly, and to try to nail that line is going to put you right on the edge of track limits, and we've seen how it can end up. You know, for lots of spins through the section, and a lot of people picking up little warnings that add up over time, and now you see a lot of people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers now who have picked up time penalties. So not what you want to do, but it's hard not to.
Yeah, as Buzzgod sets fast up the race 17.8 with the brand new softs. After that, I don't know if he wants to push too much, or else he might not make it to the end of the race. Damien Doe and Dougie Falcons both do not have a time penalty, so they'll want to try to keep it as clean as possible. You know, like as you said, Ranger having that 5-second time penalty, Dougie may just want to keep it clean here and stay behind him, and maybe use him as an advantage to stay ahead of Damien.
Yeah, but also if I'm Dougie, I don't know if I might be okay with getting by John Ranger and then putting a little bit of a barrier between me and Damien.
That's another good point, yeah, because then that's just another car he has to overtake, and you can gap away. Yeah, we have Buzzgod on P4 or P14, sorry. Really gay and I beat Ranji with those brand new softs, and he seems like he's just made the overtake.
Yep, makes it stick. So
good stuff from him.
Continues to move. Not quite sure how far that'll take him. He may be able to get another position. Michael Scott will be coming into the pits as well, and maybe he can get a couple other positions as well. We'll see where he finishes. Definitely has a lot of pace. Unfortunate for him this week.
Yeah, Shaggy Muffin in P10, only 6/10 away from Seb. He gets some good points here, as him and Seb do not have time penalties, but Alex Duarte at his home race in P8, not too bad for him, but he does have that time penalty. Always sucks, especially around Mexico when you get a time penalty, because it's just so crucial around here.
Yeah, with the season that Alex Duarte's had, I think that he would be he'd be happy with a P8. I don't know if he'd be absolutely thrilled, but P8 would be probably a good result in his mind. But the race isn't over. If he keeps it clean, combined YouTuber is only 2 seconds ahead of him. And I would say that Alex Duarte has the tire advantage here. He's got fresh mediums. He stayed out a long time on those hard tires. He went all the way to lap 26, so probably just hoping for a safety car, and probably lost some time doing that. But now that he's on these fresh mediums with combined YouTuber 12-lap hold hards, I think Alex Duarte's got a chance to make up a couple more positions.
And also, just to relieve off some more stress, the driver right behind him, or sorry, Seb. Yeah, Seb was right behind him. Now Shaq
got overtaken by
overtaking him.
Muffin. So yeah, he's got his teammate right behind him.
Yeah, but Seb also has the time penalty now, so that's another position he won't have to worry about if he's within 3 seconds. But I think Alex Duarte with those fresh mediums will be easy to gap away. So still a fight between Dougie and Damien, both 5/10s away from each other.
I don't think that's something we're going to see change at any point. I think these guys have pretty much shown their cards that this is their decision to play patient all the way to the end of the race. If they were going to make a move, I think they would have done it by now. Doesn't look like they have any interest. They're going to play it patient and come down to those final 3 laps. 3, 4, maybe even 2. We'll see how many laps they decide to make their move. But when they get down to those final couple laps and they decide that it's time, we are going to be in for some craziness. Intense racing action between these top 3 guys, and I'm excited to see how it plays out. Johannes Ludwig decides he's had enough, 18th position, started going a lap down, which means if their safety car comes out, nothing to gain, so gotta go ahead.
Has he done enough laps to get points for that position?
No, he has not, so he won't get position. He'll fall down to P19, and he won't get those 2 points for P19. But sometimes, you know, the frustration just eats you up, and it's hard to want to finish the race when that kind of stuff happens. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, Alex Duarte, P8, just on combined YouTuber's gearbox, only 2/10 away with combined YouTuber on those 13-lap hold hards. He'll get a huge advantage, maybe even a P7 for him, but combined does not have the time penalty, which is a huge advantage for him.
Yep, and it seems like every 15 seconds we get another alert from the FIA across the top of the board. Someone's picked up a 3-second time penalty, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So,
we have a Mercedes. Oh, sorry, that's Johannes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dougie, now the closest he's been in a while to Ranger.
And he's just building up that battery too. He's at 80% battery now.
Yeah, both Damien and Dougie doing a really good job to keep up their battery. Dougie getting really close to Ranger here. Will he make a move into turn 1? No, he will not. He'll keep it safe.
And he could have too if he just would have applied a little bit of battery. And I'm saying like a little bit. Use 10%. It would have been there. But
oh yeah.
So
maybe he's just thinking like completely regain that battery, and because he might not know exactly how much Damien has. So, yeah. Yeah,
going into the final lap, you know, I think it's, you know, we were talking about putting John Ranger between the two. Well, I think he's got that idea too, but he's thinking, I'll wait to put him between us on the last lap. I don't want to give Doug or Damien any chance to get around John Ranger and then sneak up on me. I'm just going to wait until the very last lap to do it. Barney Gomir picking up more penalties. Not what you like to see, but Mexico is definitely a difficult track to keep it on the track limits.
Yeah, especially with those S section. So we have Alex Duarte, 4/10 away from combined YouTuber.
He's got the DRS, and combined
YouTuber's blinking.
Yep, so he's under 10%. John Ranger finally decides it's time. So, oh no, I'm sorry. Dougie Falcons gets around John Ranger. John Ranger got a bad exit. Apparently we missed it, but you know, maybe Dougie was planning on hanging out. It's too bad now. No, doesn't get that chance. He's gonna have to, if he wants to break away, he's gonna have to do it right now.
Now it'll be really interesting. Nothing is help or aiding Dougie, and of course they'll both still get DRS, but Damien now has a real chance to overtake him, and now Damien has a battery advantage, and they both have equal tires with the amount of laps they have on them.
And that's gonna make things crazy going into the final lap.
Oh yeah.
Alex Duarte gets by combined YouTuber at his home race. Love to see it. 4 seconds to Eric McNerney in front of him. We'll see if he can hang on to maybe get for a P6. I think he'd be much more happy with the P6 than the P8 we talked about earlier. Let's take a look at time penalties real quick also. We see Eric McNerney's got 3 second. Alex Duarte has a 3 second. Ooh, combined YouTuber runs a little bit wider right there. Lights has a 6 second. Shaggy Muffin just gets let by combined YouTuber. Shaggy Muffin actually has been reeling in his teammate. Do you think that Alex Duarte at his home race will let Shaggy by, or is he going to hold on to this?
I wouldn't see a reason to let him by unless like there was drivers in front of them close, but 3.7 seconds is pretty big.
Well, it was 4 seconds,
Shaggy.
actually.
Now it's 3.2.
Yeah, I don't know if Eric McNerney has damage or what's going on, but they are reeling him in at a crazy speed. Yeah, that was a very slow lap from Eric. 2.6 seconds slow off his typical time. Shaggy's going to have the DRS right here on Alex. We'll see. Looks like he's going to battle him. I don't know if this is team orders or you don't. As a teammate, you never really want to go side by side into a corner if you're planning on letting someone by, so I don't know. Lost them both a little bit of time there, as Eric has now taken that from 3 seconds. He gained a little bit, like a half second back. Spin in sector 2.
Barney with another 3 second. Fortunate.
It's Garrett Elder going around.
Yeah. Not the best day for the Williams, but they can come back next race in Singapore. Obviously, they've shown that they have potential.
Buzz got to realize this. Yeah. He cannot make it to the end, and he goes ahead and he comes into the pits as well. Do we have someone around in the stadium? Yeah, maybe it was a back marker. So Alex Duarte actually loses DRS range on his teammate Shaggy Muffin. Shaggy definitely has the pace today. Oh, wow. Wow, fantastic move. Shaggy slows down to give his teammate DRS. He says, I'm bringing you with me. Because he's got combined YouTuber 1.2 seconds behind him. I don't know. We'll see if that pays off or not. There's a chance that Shaggy could have... Well, all Shaggy has to do is get within 3 seconds of Eric. So he's kind of on this weird teetering balance of bringing my teammate with me, and I got to get within that 3 seconds, though, for AlphaTauri to get a finish.
Yeah, so Damien saving his battery really well, and Dougie not quite the same as Damien Doe, so maybe towards the end of this race, Damien can, blast that battery, and Dougie's still using, so this could be a last lap battle. Yeah.
I'm guessing that Dougie at some point, we probably missed it, but he probably had an attempt to break DRS where he decided he was going to burn some battery and burn it down. Just make one final attempt at trying to get through. And real quick, do we have that? Is this ghosted car on the track? Just pulled off. Don't think it was ghosted this time around, but alright, so 3 laps left. Safety car will not come out at this point in the race. We are past that point. Eruption, all he has to do is drive into the sunset. Don't do anything crazy. Damien Doe right on the tail of Dougie Falcons. We are into the final 3-lap window, and it is that time where we have to watch when will Damien make his move, and we have to stay on board with him for sure, because I think as soon as we see that battery light pop on in a DRS zone, that is a signal that he's going for it, and he is so close. Now, if I'm Dougie, I may be willing to give it back to him. I may be playing some DRS chicken. Pulling over saying, hey, this is yours. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, when you're in the DRS, it's really a lot easier for you to gain that ERS.
I mean, there's no other way of saying it. At this point, Dougie Falcons is screwed. If this comes down to a final lap and Damien Doe gets two doses of DRS and 70% battery to burn compared to Dougie's 25, there's no chance. So if I'm Dougie, just, I don't know, pull over, maybe try it. Can't hurt anything.
Yeah, I mean, the battery advantage here. As Dougie has a moment exiting the last corner, and now Damien using all his battery, improvising on the mistake. DRS open is going to have a really easy time, and now he's going to be thinking, let me just try to gap Dougie as quick as possible here.
Yeah.
Then he'll have DRS in the next section.
He'll have DRS next section. He'll see if he can get it, and it's going to be up to Dougie to stay in there. Can he hold on to the DRS? It'll be really hard. He's got 6/10, 7/10 right now, and he's going to get another dose of DRS.
I hate to see it for Dougie.
You do hate to see it.
It's going to be a changer. Game changer.
Interesting though, Damien is, like you said, he's burning. So if he doesn't get the DRS, then if he doesn't break DRS right here, then now he's in an unfortunate spot. Dougie will be the one behind him with 2 does the DRS in the final lap.
Yeah, so how quickly the roles can be switched. But you know, if he doesn't get the DRS here, I would say
He got
he's pretty screwed.
He got it, so he
Or
does.
for this straight.
He did get it for this straight right here. He's gonna gain probably another 10th close to him. They come into the stadium section. He's got to nail a couple tight corners here, and then 6/10. So watch, will he cross it? And he's gonna get it. He's gonna have DRS, double dose of DRS. As they have 2 laps to go, will Dougie make the move? Will Dougie go for a move this time? He's on the battery.
Yeah, so after this, they really have one more overtaking opportunity, or
On the
at
last
least
lap.
an easy
Yeah.
one. Yeah, so one
And
more
Dougie might
straightaway.
be going for it right now. Both of them are actually burning their battery down. No, they got one
Dougie
more lap
back
after
here.
this. Hudson.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like
Oh, okay, gotcha.
they have one more of that straight to overtake each other again.
Yeah, both of them are pretty much out of battery. How close can Dougie get it? He's running it absolutely down to 0. Going to lose a lot of horsepower doing that, but hey, whatever you got to do.
Yeah,
he is
Damien
right there.
now with that 22% ERS. This is going to be huge for him, but Dougie having the DRS, I reckon Damien will be able to come out on top of this because, yeah, he has DRS. He hasn't.
Oh!
He saves it. What a save from him.
That is a crazy save.
But now he has no hope of
Yeah.
getting that PT back.
That will probably be it. He pushed it to the absolute limit, Dougie, and it was an honorable push, a great drive, but that is not going to be enough. Damien Doe looks like he'll be able to hold on this P2. They do have to finish one more lap, but it's kind of settled things up here. Lights looking like he's on for a P4 as well. Oh, wait. Let's see what kind of penalties he has, actually.
He has
Lights is
one more
6.
second of penalties than Ranger.
Yeah, so never mind. He's got to make this stick on Ranger. He's going to have DRS right here.
They're both blinking.
Yeah, they're both
So,
blinking. Gonna give it
If he
everything he
can
has.
manage to get the overtake on Ranger, he's going to have to jet off into the distance as soon as possible, but it'll be really difficult.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yep, so I'll have some closing speed right here, but it's not gonna happen. Now this is interesting. Back in P8, that when Shaggy was pulling his teammate along, Alex Duarte, to get it in that 3-second window, Shaggy's in the 3-second window, but he's pulling his teammate. He's saying, him pulling his teammate, he's no longer pulling his teammate, but when he was, that's making it so Alex is almost in the 3-second window of Eric as well. But you know what? There's penalties though. Okay, yeah, so that's not going to end up mattering. But Shaggy is going to walk away with that P6, it appears. And Eruption crosses the line. Caught me off guard. He's so far ahead. But Eruption coming out with an absolute dominant win using the nitrous oxide in his fuel tank. And Damien Doe comes around the final corner 16 seconds later. Gets a 20-second time penalty. So stewards will take a look at that. I don't think that's going to hold.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be able to keep that position. We'll bring him into the waiting room.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll go ahead and assume that he is our P2 finisher. Dougie Falcons coming to P3, John Ranger P4, Lights P5, Shaggy Muffin P6. It's gonna bring Eric McNerney into P7, Alex Duarte P8. Come
What
on,
a finish!
Yeah,
for our home race driver.
Yes.
Still P8.
Congratulations, Alex, on the finish. Great race, and you know, it was a tough one for a lot of guys, but these guys, I would say, after the McLaren and AlphaTauris right here, it got a little bit crazy. We'll throw Combined YouTuber in there as well, even though he crashed across the line. He did finish the race, but after Combined YouTuber, I would say pretty much the rest of the grid, the bottom 10 drivers, had some sort of issue. They either spun or, you know, the wrong strategy, things didn't go well. So unfortunate race for a lot of drivers, but the ones who were able to keep it clean, avoid penalties, it pays off for them. And let's go ahead and take a look at who we can get into the broadcast booth. Looks like we don't have any of the guys waiting for us yet, but Hudson, what a race. Is this anything like you expected it to be?
I did not expect Eruption to run away with it that well. He won by 19.6 seconds. He was taking, whatever he's got. I need,
Yeah.
bro.
Hey, real quick, let's bring in. This isn't our podium finisher, but let's bring in Alex Duarte at his home race. Let's give him a little bit of an interview. Alex Duarte, hey man, how's it going?
Yo, what's going on?
Hey, congratulations on a P8 finish. Maybe not what you were hoping for, but it was still a pretty solid finish at your home race. You put up a great performance, kept it clean. You managed to kind of just hold on to and avoid trouble. What do you got to say for your race?
Yeah, well, I was just trying to avoid all the carnage, you know. There's a lot of bowling going on and bumper cars. But yeah, I was also hoping for a safety car. Like I was running like in second on the hards. I was just trying to extend them as much as I could. I thought that was like the only viable strategy at that point. But you know, I'll take a P8 even though I got a penalty. All good. My boy Shaggy, 5th place. Avatari not in the mud, so we up.
There you go, dude. Good job. Obviously this is your home race. You put in a lot of practice. What does racing here in Mexico mean to you?
Well, you know, Mexico City, bro, it's a city that really nice, and you know, obviously it's my second home race. I would consider Coda, you know, my first home race because I live like right next to the track. But Mexico City, you know, I got my family over there, so Tamaulipas, Matamoros. That's where I'm from.
Awesome. So, did you have any family or friends tuning in today?
What was that?
Did you have family or friends tuning in today?
I mean, I sent them the link, bro. So my
Well,
cousin, my cousins, my cousin Anthony, shout out my friend Efren, Renee, my brother Ismail. Who y'all watching? But if not, it's all good. But yeah.
Awesome, dude. Well, congratulations on your finish. It's a really good performance from AlphaTauri overall, and we hope to see you back next week putting up same sort of performances.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Let's go ahead and bring in John Ranger. Was he our P3 finisher? I don't think he was he?
John Ranger was our P3. No, he wasn't. It was, so Damien Doe got second, and then Dougie got third.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and pull in Damien Doe. Damien Doe, dude, how's it going, man? Crazy race between the two of you. Came down to the final couple laps. How you feeling?
It feels really good, man. It was a really hard race. We had some incidents earlier on, but it was just hard racing. And that led me to have big fights with BuzzGod, Ranger, so it was very entertaining. And to get him at the end like that, I was waiting for the last lap, saving up all my ear rests, but I saw he had the moment, so I just went full send, and I got it done.
I was gonna say, it seemed like there was a little bit, like, it seemed like you and Dougie had a little bit of calculated strategies on how you guys were gonna do it at the end, but it was crazy because John Ranger, you know, had that moment, and it really just changed completely the dynamic of how the race was gonna finish.
Yeah. I was just at that point. I was waiting behind and seeing what Dougie would do. You know, seeing if he would go for it. But as soon as we saw Ranger go off, I think both of us just knew we had to, you know.
It was
make the
attack
move.
mode time for both of you. It was awesome
Yeah,
to
for
watch.
sure.
So, yeah, great race, Damien. Hudson, you got anything for him?
Good race.
Thank you.
I don't have anything planned.
No, you're good, man. So yeah, great race, Damien, and obviously you're continuing this push in the Drivers' Championship. I think that you're getting really close. If not, you may have just become the driver champion. We'll have to do the math later. You've been running away with it. So let's talk about the team championship real quick. Working with have you been communicating much with your teammate Lights, and you know, the Red Bull guys are right there, especially after the win today and the great performance from Dougie as well. I think they've got a 1-3 finish. Have you guys talked at all about the remainder of the season and you guys' plan of attack to stay in front of them?
Yeah, not much. Unfortunately, Lights missed the last few races, but we're definitely, you know, excited to try and get the most points we can. I would say it'll be hard, definitely, to take the fight to Red Bull to the end, especially with Eruption. That was an amazing performance, and I congratulate him for the win today. But yeah, obviously it's going to be hard, but we'll just take the same approach we have been. Try to do the best we can and keep the communication and morale up. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, and we'll see you again next week, right?
Yeah, let's hope.
Yep. See ya. Let's go ahead and pull in our second place finisher, Dougie Falcons. Go ahead and get him in here.
Dougie was our third.
Or I'm sorry, Dougie, our third place finisher. Dougie, how you doing? We got you in the booth. Can you hear us?
Yeah, okay, okay.
All right, Dougie, tell us a little bit about your race. A little bit crazy at the end. Give us a rundown.
It was all done because of the start. Really, that was kind of like my race. Really, it just worked from there, and then pretty much was just holding up the field just to help Eruption. He just drove a brilliant race, so congrats to him. And yeah, battle with Damien and Ranger, and that was pretty much really it. I was holding it up.
So did you hack into the code of the game and see when the lights were gonna go out, or what, man? That was that was some insane start you had, and yeah.
And it was just crazy. I caught me off guard, and I was like, okay, no one's. I was almost like no one was moving for me, but I was just like, okay, let me just get it, and then yeah, it went crazy. I went up to what, P2 at the start.
Yes,
and,
you went from P7 to P2. It was an absolutely electric start. Literally was on board with the P4 driver. I forget who it was at the time, and you came up the inside of him, and I was like, wow, I literally had to stand up in my seat. I was at a loss for words. I could not believe the pace you had going down the straight. That was just crazy. At the end there, you had a run and you were getting close to making the move on Damien, and you had a little bit of a moment in the S's. What happened?
The first time I decided to touch the curb, I spin. I was struggling with pace all weekend, so I knew that to be quick you had to use the curbs, and I couldn't do it. The one time I actually did it, I nearly half spin, so I was like, okay, whatever. I had to give it up at the end, but
it was an incredible catch. It was an incredible catch. We had people in the chat who were shocked. They were like, "Wow, what a save!" So that's awesome that you were able to hold on to it. Not sure if you would have even made this pass anyway. So holding on to the P3 is definitely a solid performance.
Yeah, I couldn't ask for any more, to be honest. Like if I got P2, it would have been perfect. But P3 is still solid, and yeah, at least it's a 1-3 for Red Bull, so it's all good. And yeah, I'm happy. So.
All right, we'll go ahead and leave you in here real quick. Let's go ahead and pull your teammate in real quick. Eruption, we got you in the booth. Can you hear us?
Yep.
All right, Eruption, congratulations on your absolutely dominant performance. What kind of fuel was in your car to make you win by that much?
I think rocket fuel.
You pour Red Bull in the tank?
Yeah, true.
Well, awesome performance. I wanted to talk to both of you a little bit about. I'm not sure where the constructor standings is at, but have you guys communicated at all on your plan of attack to take on the Alfa Romeo duo?
Sorry.
Yeah, it was like my plan was to go as P1 out of the first chicane and then just run away, and then Dodgy had this, like, I don't know what that was, that fucking rocket start, and then he was P2, and my plan was clearly just run away. And to be fair, my setup, which was way higher wings than I think all others, helped me a lot in Sector 2 and Sector 3, so...
All right, man. Well, awesome job, man. It was a fantastic race. I wish I could tell you that you got a lot of camera time, Eruption, but you really didn't. You kind of just ran away with it, and there was a ton of action going on behind you that you probably didn't get to see. Hopefully you get to go back and watch the broadcast and see the craziness that happened, but I'm sure for you it was almost a boring race, but still, congratulations on your win, man.
Thank you.
All right. We'll go ahead and let you guys go back to your waiting room real quick. And any final thoughts, Hudson, as we close out this broadcast?
It was a very interesting race. A lot of fighting, a lot of DRS trains. So one of the better ones that I've seen, definitely. And Red Bull now are going to be closing on the Alfa Romeo team and the constructors. What do you think will happen with Singapore?
You know, Singapore is a really interesting race. I think it comes down to who wants to put in the most effort and the most practice. And I think 2 weeks in a row, we're going to forget the Netherlands happened. I think 2 weeks in a row, Eruption has been the person to practice more than anyone else, put in the time. It showed this week. Didn't get a chance to show at Netherlands due to some unfortunate incidents, but I would have to imagine going into Singapore, he's got to be my favorite driver. So
Yeah, for sure.
absolutely phenomenal race here at Mexico. A little bit shocked that there was no safety car, but still led to some great battles, some DRS trains, some clean racing, lots of spins, lots of time penalties, things that'll get cleaned up next week when you can't go off the track limits or some walls in the way. They might not let you do that. So, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and like the video, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Tomorrow night we will have our top of the line drivers in Division 1 racing around Mexico City, and it's going to be a blast. Make sure that you guys tune in, and we are excited to see you then. Thank you all